Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here at Hazleton Eye Specialists on another show, Eyecare Today. Boy, do we have a good one for you. I am so excited to get into our topic here. First, want to say thank you for joining us. We, as you know, have 4 fantastic locations. Hazleton, we're on the Airport Beltway, Hazleton Eye Specialists, wonderful location. 2 brand new doctors going to be joining us in Hazleton. Dr. McCall, who's originally from Lehighton, a local graduate of Marian Catholic, went on to Salus University, just finished her rotations with us, graduated in May of 2023. We're so grateful she'll be joining us, as well as Dr. Ali Wylam, a graduate of King's University and from the Hanover area, just near Wilkes-Barre, will be joining us here in Hazleton, as well as our newest office, which I'll tell you about right now, in Nanticoke. Nanticoke was originally Evans Eyecare. Evans Eyecare was an office that was run lovingly by Dr. Dave Evans for 30 years and unfortunately passed away unexpectedly very recently, a good friend of mine, and we decided to take that office over. We got Dr. Cynthia Charneski there in the office, seeing patients every day, and she's so excited to welcome your family. If you're from the Mountaintop area, you've been seeing her for the last 18 years at Northeastern Eye Specialists. She's now going to be seeing patients in Nanticoke at Nanticoke Eye Specialists. And the number here, you give a call. We're accepting new patients, beautiful location, and wonderful care there in Nanticoke. Of course, you know that we're in Pottsville Eye Specialists, as well as Tannersville at Stroudsburg Eye Specialists. So that intro is getting a little long, but we are so grateful that our area supports us, or we're growing. We just try to work tirelessly to improve the visual welfare of our community. And, you know, when I'm with my patients, I listen to, the various things that they do and things that are going on. I try to get to know a little bit about them. And, I've got some great folks here with us today. We have Dave and Kathy Orbin, who I've had the great pleasure of working with, try and get them a good vision. And they do have great vision, and they're doing great. And Dave was in the office the other day, and unexpectedly, I said, Dave, I see that shirt you got there. He wears it proudly about, helping seeing eye dogs. I think people joke about seeing eye dogs all too often, probably, but very few people actually know anything about them. And, it was very obvious to me that Dave had this shirt on. I asked him a couple questions, and he said, oh yeah, my wife's out there in the waiting area with our puppy that we happen to be raising. And I said, you have to be on our show. And so he said that he would, and here we are. I have to say, they are absolute troopers. I showed up an hour late to this showing, and so they are still here with smiles on their faces, and I'm so grateful for them. So first, I just want to say thank you. We have the star of the show. What is the name of this beautiful little puppy right here?
Her name is Xanadu.
That is Xanadu, and Xanadu is your puppy that you are raising temporarily, yes. And we're going to get into that. And everybody, I mean, really, we don't need to say anything. We could just have this beautiful puppy, just being as gorgeous as she is right there. It'll be great. But I want to know about you too. So first of all, where are you from originally?
Youngwood, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Youngwood, Pennsylvania.
Western Pennsylvania.
Do you say Yins? Yinzers?
Yeah. Some of them do.
The Yinzers. Only people from Pittsburgh know what Yinzers are. Okay, so you're from Youngwood. Wonderful. Where are you from, Dave?
Youngwood.
You're also from Youngwood. All right. And if you don't mind me asking, what brought you out here to the eastern side of the state?
I taught at Penn State Hazleton for 36 years.
Well, how about that? And what did you teach?
Biology.
I'm just loving you more and more. And did you have any interest in particular with biology? Anything in particular that you were very passionate about?
Botany.
Botany. Okay, fantastic. All right, very good. And what about you? Were you working in the area? I know you raised a family also. So
raised a family, and part-time I was working, I worked for wholesale floral supply.
Okay, yeah, fantastic.
In Cunningham.
In Cunningham,
Yep,
okay,
at the time.
fantastic. And so you were in Cunningham for 30 years, I think you said,
36.
right? 36 years, beautiful community, great place to raise a family. You raised a family here. And recently, and by recently I mean 13 years ago, moved to Beach Mountain.
Right.
And that's where you are now.
The other side of the valley.
The other,
Right.
yeah, so from the other side of the west side of the state to the east side of the state, and from the west side of the valley to the east side of the valley. I played Valley West Little League, so there is a big difference between Valley East and Valley West. No, nothing bad, no offense to anybody, but you know, it's kind of fun. Anyway, so here you are, and we have this beautiful little puppy. So first you're both wearing glasses, okay? You have eyeballs, thank God. It's a silly joke. I joke with people about that, but as the cameraman knows, you know, his wife is the director of community services for Sight in our area, the community that helps visually impaired folks in our community. Not everybody's as blessed as us three, right? There are folks that walk amongst us that are visually impaired, either born that way or various conditions can affect them throughout the course of their life that leave them partially or profoundly visually impaired. And so I want to know where this came from. Where did the idea to help puppies ultimately help people live a life like you and I probably take for granted? Where did it all come from? You're normal folks. How did we become a puppy raiser?
After I retired, I became a master gardener, Penn State master gardener, and we were doing answering questions at the Luzerne County Fair, and my wife went along with me, and right next to the master gardeners there was a booth that for PawsAbilities,
okay.
And Kathy went over there and held a puppy on her
You
lap,
could hold a puppy for 2 hours.
was that the deal?
and then she said, "Dave, we should try this. We can just try one.
We don't the puppy.
We don't
They
have
don't
to
fear
get
poop or anything.
we don't have to get any more than that." And that was 15 puppies ago.
That was 15 puppies. They don't measure time in actual units of time. They measure it in puppies, which is I think
She's number
speaks for itself.
16.
This is number Xanadu.
Xanadu.
We're gonna get to where Xanadu came from in a little bit, but so this is number 16. Fantastic. So that's how it all started. And so was it just as easy as that? Okay, you like puppies, you can hold a puppy well, so here you go, take it home with you. Is that how it starts?
No, you have to fill out an application.
What kind of things do they want to know about you as a host parent?
They want to know what your home is like and whether you have other animals there,
Okay.
which is quite all right if
Okay.
they get along. They want references because they're giving you this dog, and you sign a contract which says, "I'm going to return this after the 15 months."
I was joking with some people about this interview. I said, you know, hey, we're going to do this cute little puppy interview and talk about, you know, what goes into it and everything. They said, boy, I would love to do that, but the hardest thing I could imagine is having to give that puppy back.
Well, we say we send them off back to Seeing Eye. It's like sending a child off to college.
Yeah.
You have two hopes for them. One, you hope that they graduate, and two, that they get a job. And if they do that, we've done our part. And,
That's right.
And we know they're doing great things.
What an amazing perspective. That's fantastic. Yeah, so we'll and there's a great need for host families, so we're going to give, you know, all of you the information and a little bit more about how you too can hold a very cute puppy and be what's the right terminology? A host family? Is that
Raisers.
A puppy raiser. So you could be a puppy raiser, not a puppy mill, a puppy raiser, very different, in helping a puppy, you know, ultimately change the life of somebody who has been living with visual impairment. So stick around, we'll be right back for the rest of this great interview. Hey everybody, here again on another show, Eyecare Today. Boy, are we excited. I hope you didn't miss the first segment of this great interview here with Dave and Kathy Orbin of PawsAbilities, a chapter of the Seeing Eye, a national organization that helps visually impaired folks live normal lives by providing them with seeing eye puppies and dogs. And what a wonderful thing. Don't want to forget, we are located in Hazleton, Nanticoke, Tannersville, and Pottsville. Really, throughout the northeastern region, we are your premier center for eye and vision care needs. One thing that I love for folks to know is that, you know, just from birth on, we love to see patients really of all ages. And the other thing that I think a lot of people don't know is that we provide emergency eye care. So if you have a red eye, a painful eye, something in your eye, something you're just not sure is going on with your vision, don't wait. And furthermore, no offense to our primary care, emergency room, or urgent care colleagues, don't call them either. Give us a call 24/7, anytime, day or night, on our answering machine. There will always be a on-call doctor and on-call number. A lot of times it's me. So you will get me or one of the other doctors, and we'll talk you through what's going on and determine if it's appropriate to see you. Many times we're here in the office on the weekend taking care of folks, taking metal out of the eye or addressing some sort of infection or some other visual disturbance. So don't hesitate to give us a call. We're accepting new patients at all our offices. We're very excited to be accepting new patients with 3 of our new doctors. Dr. Ali Wylam, originally from Hanover area. Dr. Courtney McCall, originally from Lehighton, just graduated. And our newest doctor in Nanticoke, Dr. Cynthia Charneski, who's been in the Mountaintop area and Peckville with Northeastern Eye, who's since changed hands. And so she's now with us, and we couldn't be more grateful for her experience. And for those of you that know her, she would love to see you back in Nanticoke. So here we are with Dave and Kathy Orbin, and we have Xanadu, really the star of this show. And we just learned all about how their passion for puppy raising germinated as a master gardener over here, might say. And you know, now I want to hear a little bit about the Seeing Eye. Okay, so the Seeing Eye is a national or international organization. What is it?
It is a guide dog school located in Morristown, New Jersey. It was founded by 2 people, Dorothy Eustace and Morris Frank. And Dorothy was raising German Shepherds in Switzerland. And she saw that the Germans had developed, after World War I, a school for guide dogs for blind people that had been blinded in the war. She went to visit that.
That's where it started?
That's where it started.
Really?
And she wrote an article for the Saturday Evening Post called The Seeing Eye. And Morris Frank, living in the United States, read that article. And he was a young man who was blind. And he wrote her and said, "I want one of those dogs."
Wow.
And Dorothy Eustace said, I'll give you a dog if you will come to Switzerland and pick it up, and if you will then go back to the United States and advocate for developing a school in the United States. So they did that. He did that. And he came back to the United States. She donated some money, and they got a school started, first in Nashville, but it was too warm there, and so they moved to New Jersey, and they've been there since 1931.
Wow. Now, do you need to take a test? Because you know the history very good. You clearly tell he's a professor. He had all that down, and he's a good historian. That is wonderful, fantastic. And I think it's always important to know where we started to kind of see where things could go. But so that was historical. Tell me about it today. What does the Seeing Eye look like today?
Today, their campus in Morristown is a beautiful campus. They take in typically 24 blind persons or visually impaired persons per month.
Okay.
They are there for 4 weeks. When our puppies are 15 months old, they go back to the Seeing Eye and they get physical exams, and they get trained by professional trainers that do the harness training. They do the tough stuff.
Okay.
The thing that differs a guide dog from any other kind of service dog is that these dogs have to make decisions. And they have to do something that's called intelligent disobedience. So they have to know that if the blind person gives them a command, that they will not do that if it's dangerous. So that's a complicated thing. We don't have anything to do with that.
Intelligent disobedience. I think that's what I do with my wife. That's what I'm going to say from now. This is intelligent disobedience, Jill. I love that. But that is amazing and really quite a non-Pavlovian feature, right? As we think about biological beings, right? As a biologist and a botanist and obviously, you know, raising a family, we think about reward systems and we think about how our body reacts to reward systems in our brain and the physiologic mechanisms that play there. Really, that's unbelievable, you know, that it can pick what's right and not what's gratifying sometimes, you know?
They don't want dogs that obey immediately, too.
Yeah.
When we're training them, they don't want a dog that, you've seen those dogs in dog shows that immediately sit when you tell them to do something.
Right.
They want the dogs to think about it and then sit down or do whatever you're telling them. We don't have to look for perfection. The dogs, we don't want to take away that thought process from them.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. Unreal, unreal. It really is an amazing trait that is not almost, I mean, you can almost imagine it's non-measurable. Like, how do you even measure something like that? But clearly they've determined, you know, they've figured it out because it's something you see. Now, do you have any ideas to the scope of seeing eye dogs that are in service out there in the world right now? How many?
Difficult to say. I can say that since they started, they have placed 80,000 dogs with blind people. But
80,000?
That's since 1929.
Okay.
But they do about 24 a month, 12 months a year.
Wow.
And people come from the United States and Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
And they spend a month at the Seeing Eye, or a week, no, a month.
A month, 4 weeks, you said. Wow, that's unbelievable.
So they get room and board, and they get the dog and the harness and the training, and they're charged $150.
Now, do you know if there are any things that need to be met, requirements, by the individual who's going to be receiving the dog?
Medical. They have to have a note from their doctor,
That's
their
it.
eye doctors,
Says
saying that they
visually impaired. They need a requirement.
They need that this would help them, and that they are mobile. They have something to do. The dog isn't going to just be a pet to go home.
Okay.
This is going to be a mobility aid that will help the people get around and do their jobs.
Yeah.
So we have people who are doing all kinds of jobs.
Yeah.
And the dog just goes with them.
It really just makes your heart flutter. You know, it really does. The idea that you're giving people a purpose and allowing them to live a little bit more of a well, I don't want to say meaningful, but more of a normal life that as we look at it, and a more productive member of society.
The dog's keeping them safe as they're doing this.
The Seeing Eye says they're giving independence and dignity to persons who otherwise had to depend on somebody else all the time.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Well, you know, we are going to come right back and finish this conversation, learn more about you getting involved with PawsAbilities. Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here on another episode of Eyecare today, and boy am I excited to bring this great topic to you. We're here in our last segment of this wonderful interview with Dave and Kathy Orbin, originally from the west side of Pennsylvania. That's way back, but more recently the west side of the valley, and now the east side of the valley. They live in the Beach Mountain area. Anyway, they're locals and great members of the community, longtime professor at the Penn State University. Go State, we are. Big fan of Penn State, we are. And obviously his lovely wife here has contributed in so many different ways, raising a family in the community and now helping visually impaired live a meaningful life by being a puppy parent, a puppy raiser for PawsAbilities, a great organization. And so, we've been talking a little bit about your background, how you got into this. We've talked a little bit about the seeing eye and how they've evolved over the years, and what that looks like to be a visually impaired person taking the opportunity to gain access to a seeing eye dog. What does it take? We talked a little bit about what it takes to become a seeing eye dog puppy parent. The application process, some of the vetting that goes on. It's not, just here's your puppy. There's a little bit goes on there. It's not immediate. It takes some time. But let's talk about the day-to-day for you now, right? So you said this is your 16th dog, and you measure time not in dog years, but in puppy years, how many puppies they've had. And so how long do you have the puppy?
Well, we get the puppies when they're 7 weeks old.
Okay, 7 weeks old, got it.
And they go back to seeing eye, to puppy college, when they're about 15 months old.
15 months
It can
old.
vary. Yeah.
Fantastic. So a year or more, a little over a
About
year.
a
I mean,
year,
it's a
yeah.
good amount of time.
Yes, it is.
It's a good amount. That's a lot of life happens in a year. A lot of things can occur. So, we were just talking off camera here about life and my life, and I said, I love to do this, but we've got 3 young kids. I've got a dog. My wife and I, we're busy. We like to travel. So let's talk about your responsibilities as a puppy parent. What kind of things, because really, when I have patients that have puppies, I say it's like a baby. Right? I mean, you're up in the middle of the night, you're feeding, you're cleaning, you're learning. So tell me about, your day-to-day responsibilities from early days to, when they're graduating.
Well, our primary job, once we get past the housebreaking part, which is important.
Let's talk about that. Do you mind? I mean, is that kind of just the run-of-the-mill housebreaking thing?
You're really conscientious.
Yeah.
Because you don't want this to drag on for months.
You've got it down.
We're with the puppy. Unlike people who have a dog at home.
Yeah.
We're with this puppy 24 hours a day.
Yes.
So you learn when they have to go. And
you're doing the pee dance. I say that with my son.
right.
You're doing the pee dance. Do you have to pee? No. I'm like, yes, you do. You have to pee.
Right.
Okay.
She's being calm here.
Yeah.
If she gets that look.
It's my voice. My voice is very
if
calming.
If she gets that look, oops, it's time to go out.
It's time to go. Okay.
So you learn their signs,
yes,
like you do with your kids.
Yeah, sure.
And within a month, we should have them.
You got it down.
Yep. Because we don't want to be up every night in the middle of the night.
Right.
Which after a month, you can sleep through the night.
I mean, you could probably start a puppy training business after, doing this. But okay, so you've got it down. Tell me, does PawsAbilities offer, I'm sure there's a support group, but do they offer any training for new puppy parents? I mean, new parents are, you talk to some of them, you're like, really? But God.
What PawsAbilities is the local group. And
okay,
if you want to raise a puppy, you have to become a member of that group.
Okay.
And you have to attend meetings. We meet twice a month.
Okay.
And they provide training and support, but they also provide personal support. So if, for example, you want to go on a vacation and you're not able to take the puppy with you,
Gotcha.
somebody else in the club will step up and cover for you, or somebody gets sick.
You're not taking the puppy to a kennel or...
Right, no.
Won't allow that, got it.
And we have an area coordinator that comes out from the Seeing Eye that meets with our club regularly, and they're a telephone call away if you need advice or help. They do pay all the veterinarian expenses, and they provide a stipend for the food.
Gotcha.
So you're not financially responsible, but the big thing is socialization, and that means taking that dog with you everywhere you go.
Wow.
And that gets the dog used to being out and about and being able to operate in that environment without creating a fuss.
And without being afraid.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a big deal.
We go to visit the Wilkes-Barre Airport because they have shiny floors.
Really?
So you don't want a dog to see shiny floors and get panicked.
Okay.
So we expose them a little. You may take it in and come back out real quick.
Okay.
And then next day go in again, and
Yeah.
they would be more used to it then.
Interesting. Okay.
They go everywhere we go.
Okay. That's a
and-
big part of it.
And we go a lot of places that we normally wouldn't have gone because we're exposing the puppy
Yeah.
to different things.
Wow. Now, have you set like a trajectory, like, okay, it's month 4, now we're going to go to the airport, or, it's just kind of, we'll figure it out as we go, but there are certain things that you do.
Yeah, and a lot of those there are group events where the whole club goes to the airport, or the whole club takes a bus ride, or we go to New York City or whatever.
Okay, neat.
So
it's like a little bit of a social group for
Yes,
you guys
it's-
too.
it's
Tell me
really-
a little bit about the cost of raising a seeing eye dog. From start to finish. Is there a dollar amount on that? Has anybody ever done any research
For
on that?
the puppy raisers?
No, not
Or
for you.
for
Just
the
in
seeing
general,
eye?
like for the seeing
Yeah.
eye.
The
Yeah.
seeing eye
Yes.
calculates that beginning with the breeding process and the puppy raising and the training,
And
it's
the
about
follow-up.
$75,000 to produce a dog that's going to go out and guide.
Yeah.
So that it's a very expensive proposition, but as puppy raisers, it isn't a huge financial.
From your perspective, or not from your perspective, but there's a lot of support, right?
Yeah.
The money comes
Yes.
from the seeing eye, the human support of the interactions with the PawsAbilities group. So if you're out there and this is something you think that you could do, you can reach out to PawsAbilities, right? We're gonna put a telephone number, a website here so that you can reach out to PawsAbilities. I'm sure Dave and Kathy, I'm gonna nominate them to also be a resource. I'm sure you wouldn't mind that if somebody was interested. I'm sure they could reach out to you through PawsAbilities and the Seeing Eye. If you're interested, we're so happy to be able to learn a little bit about the wonderful things you do. And on behalf of Hazleton Eye Specialists, I have a check, just a small check that I'd like to present to you, to PawsAbilities, for all the wonderful things that you guys do in this community. And for folks, that have visual impairments, it really is a wonderful thing. And I know it's a huge time commitment, and time is valuable. So it's a huge kudos to you both. And so thank you for waiting an hour for me too while I was late. So I appreciate that also.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you guys for joining us on another Eyecare today. Remember, we're here for you in Hazleton, Nanticoke, Pottsville, and Tannersville. And join us on another Eyecare today.